Hello, and welcome to the final episode of what is likely the final season of Sunday Sweet Chats. I say likely because that is the plan as of today. Um, but I also don't like to live in absolutes. I don't want to give false promises. I want to keep the door open. Um, because Sunday Sweet Chats has been something special to me, and you never know what the future might hold. Um, If there's a poet who I trust who wants to take the torch and curate new episodes, and take over hosting duties, that's a possibility. If I find myself down the road in a couple of years, in a much better balanced place, who knows? Maybe there could be future episodes. Maybe maybe there'd be an opportunity for, an extra special episode here and there and not, full on seasons. Who knows what the future might hold. But as of today, um, this is it. This is the plan. This is the grand finale, um, which is just me talking to you. The very first episode of the first season was just me talking, promoting my chapbook, Artificial Sweetness. So today is just me talking, kind of wrapping up Sunday Sweet Chats and also talking a little bit about my um, most recent project. Um, so, as Sunday Sweet Chats comes to an end, I want to take the time to express gratitude to all of the guests who have taken a chance on participating in what I call my little show. So thank you to Lisa Molina, Belle Larkin, Genevieve Nolet, Monica Prince, Tate Lewis Carroll, Teresa Rose Dirtson, John Compton, Chell Campbell, JD Isip, Gwen Hart, Tony Winter, Nat Rom, Damian B. Donnelly, Jamie Evan Kitts, Elizabeth M. Castillo, Travis Chewing Lau, A.R. Arthur, Jing Heidi Wu, Juniper Moon, Richard Eve Satowski, James Cruz, Megan Merchant, Luther Hughes, Lee Horikoshi Rorpa, Brian Borland, and Melissa Etheridge. Thank you to everyone who has listened to an episode, and a huge thanks to anyone who's listened to more than one. Um, the series was created out of a need for me to break out of isolation and a time to connect when my mental health was pretty low. A time when I needed to connect to others. And it was really special it's been really special, to talk about poetry, to kind of nerd out about that. Um, but also to talk about sweet things, to talk about mental health. That's been really special. So out of this came some really healing conversations that have really meant the world to me, and I hope even a little of that inspiration has rubbed off on you as listeners and guests as well. Um, and unfortunately, I find myself in a really low spot in my mental health journey again. Um, so as I record this final episode in the very, very end of July, I kind of batch record and then edit and put them out. So as I record this episode, I'm about to take the next step in my mental health journey. I've done a lot of things to try and combat my PTSD, depression, and anxiety. But my PTSD is pretty persistent too. But my depression is pretty persistent and not very respondent to treatment. And unfortunately, it's been exacerbating suicidal ideation. It's exacerbating, and I've done a lot of things: traditional talk therapy, EMDR, CBT. I've done 7 different types of antidepressants. I've done a couple different bouts of ketamine therapy, and maybe seen mild input on some of those, but not a lot. So I'm actually about to start something new for me. TMS, transcranial magnetic stimulation, which is basically a magnet in the brain. And something, it's a daily treatment to start with for a whole month. So obviously that's kind of a time suck and all of that, but I'm trying to be hopeful. And yeah, so we'll see. Um, so thank you for allowing me to be my messy, imperfect, vulnerable self with you along the way here. Um, so let's get out of that. Let's talk about some poetry, right? So my fourth full-length collection is coming out this fall. Um, Again, I'm filming this the very end of July, so some timeline, who knows? Maybe some updated information by the time it comes out. So it's coming out from Fernwood Press. Really great press. They're actually local to me here in Oregon. And the collection's called Follow This Blood to Find a Dead Thing. It's actually a sister collection to my second full length, If the World Were a Quilt. Actually, same cover artist. I can't wait to share the cover art with you guys. Um, so Follows Blood to Find a Dead Thing takes a really hard look at human destruction in its many forms. So it looks at abuse, homophobia, and habitat destruction. A lot of habitat destruction and environmentalist themes in this collection. Um, Really includes some experimental poems. It includes my first published pieces of fiction. So kind of feeling vulnerable putting those things out there. So there's four pieces of cli-fi, climate change fiction, climate change sci-fi fiction, flash fiction out in this collection. So there's four pieces of flash fiction sprinkled throughout. So yeah, I'm gonna read a poem right now from that collection. It's one of my favorite poems in the collection. I think it's a cornerstone piece of the collection. It's called The Last Night on Earth, and it was originally published in a climate change anthology called Mother Nature Burning, and that was published by a press called Sunday Mornings at the River. The Last Night on Earth. The last beings on Earth gather around a fire and speak. Any barriers of communication are broken. What a lonely night it would be if they are still I'm gonna start over. The Last Night on Earth. The last beings on Earth gather around a fire and speak. Any barriers of communication are broken. What a lonely night it would be if they still pretended not to hear one another. The human boldly states, "There must be a way out." The eagle opens its beak. "Your fire falls from the sky, human. There is only so far I can fly up before my breath is taken." The whale replies, "And your plastics and oils and hairsprays have tainted the ocean, but still, there's only so far I can dive." The cockroach hisses, "My ancestors spoke of this day. Everyone said we would make it. I thought there would be more than just me." The dog replies, "I never thought of this day. I only ever lived in the moment. I won't let tonight be any different." Together, they sit in the silence of this moment, waiting. So, as you know, I like to end the episode by asking guests to share what keeps them sweet in a world that's so salty. And as I've shared, I'm really struggling with my depression right now. I'm really struggling with feeling hopeless. So I don't really have a great answer for that. That wouldn't feel like I am being dishonest. So instead of kind of BSing my way through that, I have decided I'm going to share a second poem with you. This does come from that same collection, The Fellow's Blood to Find a Dead Thing. And this poem is on the optimistic side. So I'm sharing this as a reminder to myself, um, to you, and to anyone else who is struggling to see their own worth right now. This poem was originally published with the title Development by the online literary magazine Idle Ink. But in the collection Follows Blood to Find a Dead Thing, it's been retitled and called Blessing. So here it is. It is easy to feel small, my love. You are not a blue whale calf that packs on 250 pounds per day. You are not a cow growing 13 times its birth weight in its first year. German shepherds grow 70 times their birth weight. Sometimes our courage grows like a baby kangaroo, less than a gram at birth, so small in the palm of one's hand. But it grows to a modest 6 pounds by the time it jumps out of the pouch. And that is only the beginning, my love. It grows bigger yet. It is easy to feel insignificant, my love. A cactus only grows up to 1 inch a year. Though they are as resilient as you are not a prickly thing. You are a sunflower standing tall. Some varieties grow up to 14 feet in one season. Bamboo grows 130 feet in a single season. And I hope you grow confidence at an alarming rate, that people look at you and see your might. But even the mighty oaks and the weeping willows only grow about 4 feet in their first years. It's okay to grow slow, my love, as long as you keep growing. The bald eagles that nest in those mighty oaks start off at only 3.5 ounces before reaching a mature 14 pounds in a matter of weeks. It's okay to grow slow, my love, as long as you keep going. Your development isn't on a timeline. Just water your spirits, my love. Feed your heart, my love, with greens and sunlight, and you will grow. Self-love starts off small, but it quickly grows wings. Thank you so much for tuning in. Much love and peace, everyone. Stay sweet.